Go ahead, fire away.
Harrison Bucker, where do we sit on the process?
Yeah, we're going to keep working. He did make 3 out of 4. He made all those extra points. 13 points for the team. Those are all good. Obviously we don't like misses, and we're going to keep working to see, if we can get more consistency. It's just he's a little bit of a struggle right now. Everybody sees it. We're just going to keep working.
He's been historically good.
Oh,
right?
God,
So we're not talking about a kid
no.
who doesn't have a background. Have you seen anyone who's been this good that
That it happens?
Yeah, that you kind of have to work through something.
I haven't had somebody that over a period of like 3 or 4 weeks. I think just a couple weeks, and then you come out of it. We just need to get a game where he has a clean game, and then we put another one together, and then we just go from there. But he had to his credit on that, there was a lot of pressure too. We had a lot of pressure on that. Our blocking wasn't great on that one play. If you look at it, and I always think that adds something to it. So he had that. That issue too was something on that long field goal.
Is there something consistent that you're seeing on the misses?
No. That's the hard part. If it was just like, oh, okay, boom, there it is. And then you pick it out, and then even for him, it's just something that we just got to keep working. And that's what we do.
Admittedly, I know this is getting repetitive and everything, but you got a new kickoff rule this year. We've got to get it into the 20.
Yeah.
You guys want it on the corner and everything. Was his attention maybe divided more than normal because he's having to put
it is
kickoff in?
It is something. That I've thought about how much time we spend doing that compared to the field goals, but he spends a lot of time on everything. He's a detailed guy, and nobody wants to be perfect more than him. And that could be part of his problem. It's a mental thing, could be. We're trying to work through it, but we have to have those kickoffs too. He's really good at what he does with the kickoffs, and we don't want to take away from that because he's giving us what we want there.
Nico gave you a good return.
Yeah, real good.
He's pretty much settled into this. It's only been 9 games since he's been the return guy, going back to last year. But he seems settled into that role.
Yeah, he's solid. He's a guy I can depend on. I call him the adult in the room. He's the oldest guy back there, and I like having him back there, especially on kickoff returns, because the kind of crazy balls that we're getting and the way you have to read the kickers and the kickoff coverage, and he's back there, and he does a great job on those little things that people don't really realize.
How has he gotten better year over year? It seemed like he was good right away, and then have you seen him even improve from
He
that?
just he works at it in practice. He goes all out, in practice with his catches and his finishes, and it's real important to him. He studies tape. We get together, and he just a student of it, and he's a great teammate.
What do you see
Couple
in
more.
Jacksonville, and then as far as their team?
Oh, really good. Their return game is outstanding. They had a touchdown last week. Washington, the punt returner, he's got an unbelievable burst. Like his get up to full speed is really impressive when you watch tape. And then they got the 2 rookies back there, 36 and 33, Tutton, the 4.28 guy. That we love coming out, but he's explosive, and he can get around you. He hits it north and south. They got the total package in the return game. Heath Farwell, the coach, does a great job. He was a great player. Now he's a great coach. I coached against him when he was at Minnesota, and we go way back, but he's doing a great job. He's got those guys flying around.
Class.
Do you see Taekwon Thornton being more involved now that Xavier Worthy is back?
Not yet. I think when Rasheed comes back, I'm going to lose another guy, and then all of a sudden, everybody gets pushed. So I'm looking forward to, Taekwon. He brings a dynamic explosiveness to the return game.
Last 2 here.
I was going to say, you might be playing rain for the first time this year.
Yeah, we talked about that today.
What do you do?
We're not going to wet the balls or anything like that, but we talk about it, and we say that if it is raining or the wind and those things we're going to take that into factor. With our return game, we talked about that this morning. But you talk about it. We're an experienced. I think we've got enough experienced guys that will be able to handle it. And we practice in the rain out here too. Sorry.
You talk about the different kind of kicks. I know you're busy, so I don't know if you saw last night. There was a kick that was like they called it a knuckleball, but it's
the Rams guy.
Yeah, it just didn't turn over. It just,
And he's hitting them like right at the spot.
Yeah.
But then he got hurt on the last one where he was short of it. So it's a risk reward thing.
how many clubs are in the bag of a kicker?
I mean, it's unbelievable some of these kicks that we're getting right now. Everybody's experimenting and they're coming up with different ideas, and but there is a risk reward. If you're short, I mean, that ball at the 40, that really hurts you now. So you gotta consider those things.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Doing? Quiet. A quiet group. I never have a lot to say at the beginning. I mean, I'm already, I don't know if you want to talk about the last week's game, but we're kind of into the next one. It just seems like forever to get to what is an NFL Thursday, right? But it's good to be cranking it out and playing another good football team. So with that, I'll just open it up.
Steve, Trevor Lawrence has been better against the blitz this year. Just wonder what you've
Yeah.
seen and just the way he's able to react.
Yeah, it looks like a quarterback that we always knew he had a lot of talent. I've always felt that way, but it looks like a quarterback that's really comfortable in a system that's new. You don't usually see that right off the bat, but they sure have put it together pretty good, pretty quick. It's resulted in 3 wins and a bunch of points. So, I mean, there's no easy games in this league. There's no easy offenses to defend. I mean, you throw the tape on these guys, and it's like, wow. They got receivers, and the running back, I think, is the guy that's kind of generating it right now. So, like all these games that we play where people are going to run the football, if we don't stop that first, then it becomes a long day.
And their offensive line, too.
Yeah.
It's protecting the run blocking as well. What have you seen from that?
Yeah, really good. The young man that they brought over from Tampa, their center, a couple of plays early when I was watching the film early in the week just kind of stuck out. And anytime you can have the center in the middle of it, and he obviously knows Liam's system because he was with him, I think that's kind of been a little bit of the glue. And they've got enough talent there, and with a back that kind of can make you look good as an offensive blocker, it's kind of piecing together pretty good for him right now.
No Williams snap percentage seems to be going up and up. I guess just what have you seen as far as early development with him?
Yeah, he's done a really nice job for us. early in the year, he kind of stuck out to me on special teams. He had some, I don't know if you guys remember, he had a couple of really good on kickoff team. He had some really good hits. And he's a physical guy. He was physical in training camp. There was a little bit of a rough beginning because it was kind of different to him. But I think he's kind of settled in. He's playing more confident, which is probably the first thing you need out there. And I think, we got a lot of respect for D-Hop. And he went out and was able to have a couple of decent plays on him. So I think that boosted his confidence.
How does he help you maybe with Trent and being able to
Yeah.
sort of move
Well, when we are able, I mean, that's a good point. I mean, when we do put Noel out there, we're able to put Trent inside, which we all know we like Trent in there, like Chamari in there as well. But when we can get three corners out there in the game, and that's kind of dictated by down and distance. I mean, you guys know that. And so when we get in those situations, if Noel can keep playing well and Jalen can keep playing well, we can get Trent inside there.
Brian Thomas finished really strong last year, but he's kind of off to a slow start. What do you see from him on tape?
A really good player. I think they're finding ways to get it. Last week they certainly found ways to get it to him. I mean, he's a guy we got to be concerned with. He had a great year. Last year was his rookie year, right? Yeah, and he kind of jumped out there. We didn't play him obviously, but it seems like every team has one of those skilled wideouts that we have to worry about, and then you add the young kid there, number 12, that I think gets better and better every week. I think they got the makings of a really good offense, and it's kind of been proven by the number of points that they've been able to put up there.
So getting back to Etienne, what about him is really helping that offense go?
I don't know if I can pinpoint. I remember when we played them. We played them twice that year in 2022, I think, right? And we played them here. And I remember it was a main focus in trying to take him away, which it will be again. But I think years of experience, and now he's got I think he's got an offensive line he believes in. They put together a really good system where they're doing things in the pass game, which is kind of moving the ball, and then mixing it up by putting and they do some things with some tempo. I just think they've done a really nice job. Usually when the schedule comes out early in the year, I'm always looking for an opener where you have a new head coach or a new quarterback or because you think there's some, but this crew has put it together really quick, and we're into the 5th game of the season, and they look like they're kind of clicking right now.
Couple more.
You had to be pretty happy the way you handled Derrick Henry last week.
Yeah, I thought the guys played really, really good, solid football. I mean, the only play I'm going to remember about the game is going to be the last one, because that's just what sticks in my head. But prior to that, and the things that we did and the way we played, and 4th downs were really important. But obviously the focus was on the running back to get that done first, and then try to get him in the game we didn't. To our offense's credit, they got some points on the board, and we were able to dictate a little bit.
Steve, I know you like to say turnovers come in bunches.
Yeah.
Had a pair in each of the past 2 games. Is that just a matter of guys finally capitalizing on those opportunities when they've arisen?
Yeah, although I can't remember too many, we call them MOBPs, missed opportunities of big play. Like I don't remember too many that we've dropped. But while I'm thinking of it, that was a heck of a play that Leo made. I mean, I don't know how many linebackers. He did everything exactly right. Covered him, was sticky in coverage. When when the tight end looked for the ball, he looked for it, and then he made a great play on that. But, I mean, listen, that's what it takes to get turnovers, great plays like that, or punch it out like what happened last night in the game. We're going to stay aggressive in that mindset. We're going to need this. We need to match their defense, because their defense is turning the ball over. So if that happens on the other side of the ball, we've got to find a way to match that.
Last one, Nate.
Steve, I know I got a few minutes behind.
We won't fine you for that, Nate.
Thank you. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody asked you about Chris, but considering you've been with him for a long time and just how unusual last Sunday was, just did you learn something new about Chris, and just what was your perspective?
Unusual in what way, Nate?
Just him coming to the game late.
Oh,
his,
got you.
his
Yeah.
aunt's funeral.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that was
still playing well.
Yeah, that was a tough deal. I give Chris a lot of credit for having gone through that. And when I saw him on whatever the NFL Tuesday was, I mean, I said, Chris, you look a little tired, and rightly so, right? I mean, I had to go see family, and I'm glad things worked out for him. I know it wasn't an easy day, but it was good to see all the guys rally behind him. He walked in the locker room, and of course everybody was around him, so it was a good thing.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, you got it. Thank you.
All right, go ahead.
And sometimes teams get on turnover rolls, but what Jacksonville's doing seems to be kind of beyond that, with there at least 3 a game all season. What do you see with that?
Yeah, they're the word when I first started watching them on Monday morning was opportunistic on the back end. There's a lot of tip footballs. Sometimes those tip footballs are at the line of scrimmage with D linemen. Some of these that you're seeing are in the intermediate levels. And I think what's impressive is then these DBs, safeties, corners, even linebackers, they adjust well to the ball, and then they, instead of dropping the interception, they make the play. They do a good job in zone, kind of reading the quarterback eyes in the middle of the field. And so just the more and more you see of that, you see the taking the ball away, the strip tackles, strip the football. So when you're doing that and making that happen, you're being taught that. So it's a credit to their coaching staff, and then it's a credit to the players executing it.
What would you say for Xavier in that first game?
Just the ability to, I think, bring back that energy that maybe was missing a little bit, which is natural, but the confidence, the energy, he was happy. When he just ran out on the field in warm-ups, you could just see the big smile. He felt like a little kid being able to get out there and do what he loves. And that's contagious. It's contagious to everybody. You get him some early touches, first play of the game, even though it went for 1 yard plus a penalty, he got hit, and I think that's important. It went on the rest of the game, and we want to keep that going.
You mentioned confidence. Kings have one of his highest graded games.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys look at it, but I know he played well. How is his confidence, and how important is that for him to build on?
It's a beautiful thing when you get those guys on the front end there doing what they did this last game, and it's going to happen intermittently at times. There's still going to be some times where there's some hiccups and he learns on the run, but really, really special game that he put together. And for anybody and anything that we do in life, when you have confidence and you can play fast and you start believing more and more, it's infectious. And I think like that left side, those young guys continuing to have that, it just moves on to the back end with your quarterback, with your coaches, your running backs, everybody else. It's good.
How can you tell he's playing fast?
Less mental errors, communication-wise, being able to just recover if he gets beat it could be as simple as a 6-inch step, but just playing strong, just playing confident, and I think in practice you feel it too. It doesn't just happen on game day. He's putting together some consecutive good practices.
Matt, what have you seen from Josh Hines, Allen?
Yeah, again, those edge players, him being one for sure, playing him over the years, powerful, savvy, experienced, strong, quick, like every superlative you can think of, it's him. And so ton of respect. We got to know where he's at on every play.
Couple more.
Did you see the defense, like walk the safety back, like give you a little more in the run game, open up some more underneath, just that threat of worthy speed?
I think it did, and I think we knew that going into it. We felt that going into Brazil, that first game. We thought it was going to be similar to that, and then 3 plays later, you lose that. But that's football. You got to bounce through that. That's a weapon that Coach Reed and Brett Veach brought in, and so that you want to be able to have those tools. And what's going on right now in that room, in the locker room, it's organically turning into like just a bunch of guys that they're playing fast, they're confident, they're happy, they're having fun, and that's contagious. And so the more of that you can have, the better. That's where we're at. But now the biggest challenge is we got to be able to stack it. We can't let what happened think that it's just going to happen against a phenomenal defense this weekend. We got to do it again and just continue to keep stacking those.
We're going to go last 3. Matt, Nick.
Hey, Coach, with Rashard, what do you see in his development? What's he doing right now to be getting these opportunities?
Not making mistakes mentally. He's doing what he needs to do. And then you saw a little sprinkle of it last week when he caught that ball, Matt, on the sideline and got hit a few times and stayed in bounds and probably got 6 extra yards that most people wouldn't get. That's the physical part that we see. The mental part is being able to eliminate the mistakes. We're okay with mistakes, but you just can't make the same mistake twice. Well, he's not doing that now. We're able to put him in on some packages where he can study those throughout the week. And you don't want him to play slow. You want to use his strengths, which is ball skills, speed, and then be able to put that into fruition. And we really want that to continue to keep growing moving forward.
How's he kind of progressing as a running back since he's still new at that position?
Well, he is new at that position. I mean, he has a whole year at it in college. It is different in the NFL. Probably with us, it's more schematics of what type of run game, footwork wise, whether it's inside zone, mid zone, RPOs versus under center, protection versus scat. There's a lot that goes into that. So kind of giving them a little bit at a time and getting to a point to where when we get to the end of the season, we feel like he can do a lot more for us and not be so much one-dimensional at times, which is what we're trying to grow with.
You all have had pretty good success on fourth down.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something that you can pinpoint that has led to that success? And what impresses you most when Patrick knows it's do or die?
Two things on that. I would say, number one, I feel like throughout the week, the coaches have done a good job of being able to really talk through and communicate the plays that we like in this moment, whether it's a personnel that we like versus what they do, whether it's a concept or scheme that we like versus what they do, and then getting to that moment and not wasting time and feeling the conviction of the call and executing it. And the players feel that. Last week, we didn't have as many third down conversions, but we were 4 for 4 on fourth down at critical times. So we talked about that on Monday morning with the team. Like that's important. We got to keep that going, and it's a credit to the players for executing it.
Last one, Nick.
Yeah, Matt, for you to be able to put yourself in scoring position on 8 consecutive drives last week and then have 4 TDs inside the 15, how do you build on that this week with the Jaguars' discipline zone-wise?
Yeah, well, we love what happened last week, but at the same point in time, this defense they're very sound. They fly around, they play fast. The different types of zones that they play, they can try to confuse you, and then their execution is really good. So we got to just make sure that we build off of that. It's a positive, but it can't be one of those, take one step forward, two steps back. We got to keep that going, and it's all about prep, good week of practice, and then on game day, you want to just score a bunch of touchdowns and stay away from field goals.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Chris, I don't know if we got this information post game, but if you're willing to share, just can you tell us your aunt's name and just what she meant to your life?
Her name was Angela. She meant a lot. I actually stayed with her for a duration, part of my life, probably like 5 or 6 years. So we was very close. She was actually watching my game when she passed away. So, it meant a lot to me, my family, huge supporter. Yeah.
Where was the funeral held? Was it back in your hometown or was it somewhere else?
Yeah, it was back in Houston, Mississippi. Yeah, in the church we all grew up in.
Chris, our condolences to you and your family.
Thank you so much.
You said she passed away when she was watching one of your games. Was that the Giants game?
Yeah, I actually got the news after the game.
Just something that was unexpected?
Yeah, it's very unexpected because usually after the game, especially after the game, you get a sack. The family called and congratulate me or send me a text. So I was calling everybody like, hell yeah, about time we got the sack. Let's do it. This is the beginning. And, it was like, call your mom, call your sister. I was like, everything's okay. And unfortunately, she had a heart attack watching the game.
I'm sure the game was probably largely secondary to everything, but was there at any point in the process that you were like, am I going to get back in time for this thing?
Me and Coach Reed talked about it, and more so it was about making my aunt's funeral. And if that was a time frame where I could get back, I would try to get back. But they completely understood, and we came up with a plan around it.
Anybody else?
Chris, what have you seen from this Jacksonville offense?
They're battle tested. You watch them throughout the course of the few games they've played. They've been battle tested. The Houston Texas game, that was a battle, especially in the fourth quarter. It was a back and forth battle, and their defense has been playing lights out. Trevor Lawrence has made a lot of progression throughout the years, and he's made a lot of big throws when the team needed him. So they have a very great cohesive group that's playing well together right now. So it's a challenge for us as a D-line and a defense to get after them.
I know it wasn't a sack on the play Sunday, but you're the one who creates the initial pressure that makes Lamar sort of step up and bump into his own teammate for the fumble. When you know it's not in the box score, but you see the impact that you have, just what does that do to you, whether in that moment or when you go back and rewatch the game?
I mean, you know, a lot of times, you know, you're not going to get credit for what you do because sometimes the stats don't align, but that doesn't deter your impact that you have on a game. Whether it's creating pressures for the defense or whether it's taking on 2, sometimes 3 for someone to come open. You look at, I was watching a stat in the D-line room that Nick had 5 pressures that were untouched, you know, and that's cohesive to the group of the D-line because when you have guys taking up 2, and the tight end and tackle is taking up a D-end, then your linebackers can come free. We just want those roles to reverse, okay? Spags start pulling the linebackers up, had them to take 2 and give us a free shot, you know. We definitely have a very DB/linebacker friendly defense. We just want Spags to kind of, you know, make sure that this thing is evenly matched.
Chris, how nice has it been to see this defense start to produce turnovers? I know Spags likes to tell you guys that they come in bunches, but is it nice to see it happen?
Absolutely. I think that's something we harp on week in and week out. Turnovers, sacks, and affecting the quarterback. So I think they go hand in hand if we're rushing like we should and forcing him to throw the ball quicker than his expected timing, then more turnovers will come, and then eventually more sacks will come. So from the D-line, not the linebackers or the DBs.
Were you impressed by Leo's pick?
And that was sweet. That's also a pressure that got in his face. Nick Bosa was right there again, you know. It's a trend coming.
Spags seemed pretty upset by he said when he walked in here the only play on his mind was the last run. I just wonder if you guys can tell that whenever you guys reconvene this week.
Yeah. I was telling Spags it was contradicting argument because he always say we don't count the numbers, we count the letters, W and the L. We got the W, so you know.
When you get on the plane, Chris, I know it's got to be tough and emotional, but what did you try to do to, I guess, be ready when you don't have like your normal warm-up routine? Is it drinking a bunch of water? Did you try to like find ways to? It's just a different way to get loose for a game.
For me, I don't really stretch before the game. I'm a huge fan of Randy Moss. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And I get off the plane ready. I was ready to pass rush off the plane. So it's like, just stay hydrated because I know with the heat, with the plane, can kind of dehydrate you. But Rick gave me some tips on what I could do to make sure I'm hydrated and make sure that my body is up to par to play football. So the training staff for Rick, David Glover, they took care of me on that aspect. So I was ready to play right off the plane.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.